if you are asking yourself, okay, I don't know what to do right now, I'm in this situation, I don't know what to do, I don't know what my next move should be. And oftentimes people find themselves in this position and they stay stuck, they don't do anything. But the truth is, there's always things that we can do, even if we feel like we're stuck, even if we feel like we don't know what to do. And so, I would like to think for myself that if I'm ever in a position where I don't know what to do, the first thing I do is pray. And I know that faith without works is dead. So I can't just pray and not do anything else. I got to pray, have faith, but it says faith without works is dead. That's what the word of God says. So I got to be doing something so that God can have something to bless. And so if I didn't make enough money and I had kids in the evening and I couldn't work a second job, I would be thinking, okay, what can I do to make money? How do I increase my income? And so I think about long term, because short term, we could say, you could find a work at home job in the evening. You could start a daycare in your home in the evening where you kept kids from mothers who were in the same position that you were in. You could, sell, join an MLM and sell in the evenings, where maybe you did something online, like, some type of live stream online to sell your products. You could do other things. You could sell digital products. So digital products, all it is you're selling what you know. You're selling your knowledge. So you might do a master class and teach one thing that you know this week. And then next week you teach a master class teaching what you know that week. So you could do that. That could be one way. And you could do that, an hour or two a week, every week. Or you could do one every night. When your kids go to bed, you could do a live stream. You could do a live stream every day, build your audience, and then start selling master classes. So that's one way. That's one thing you could do. But when you think about you don't have enough money to pay your bills and you can't, you can't work a second job in the evening because you have these kids, there's not a daycare open in your area. Think about, how can I increase my income in my day job? Like, what can I do during the day to increase my income? And so, for example, you might say, okay, I'm making this amount and I need this amount. So let's just say, for example, I'm making $80,000 and I need $110,000. So you need a $30,000 increase. So the next thing you could say is, what can I do to increase my income to $30,000 more per year? And if you do that, okay, so you could say, I can ask for a raise, right? That's the easiest, that's the shortest, that's the lowest hanging fruit. You could just say, okay, I can ask for a raise for $30,000. Okay, so if your boss says no, you can't get a raise for $30,000, then what job can you do to make $30,000 more per year? So let's just say you make $80,000, you want to make $110,000. So if you go and do some research, okay, what job can I apply for that's going to pay me $110,000? So if I say $110,000, what do I need to do? So you can research it, you can Google it, you can say, who do I know that's making the amount of money that I want to make? Who do I know? You can Google it and say, okay, they make this amount of money. This is what the requirements are. So I need to have this, this, and this. Or, what are the skills? So they have these skills. So you can say, okay, I need to get these skills. I'm giving myself 6 months. I'm giving myself a year, however long you want to give yourself. Because you can literally do it in 3 months if you had to. If you were really committed, you could do it in 3 months. You could just say, okay, every day you can come home after work, after you got the kids, settled. You can say, okay, I'm going to give myself 3 hours every evening or 4 hours every evening, 6 days a week, 1 day to rest. So you can say, okay, I'm going to give myself, let's say 3 hours every day, 6 days a week. That's 18 hours. So you're going to spend 18 hours every week on a new skill. So you spend this 18 hours every week on a skill. 18 hours times 12 weeks is 216 hours. So you just spent 216 hours learning a new skill. So you can do that in different ways. You could take a course on Udemy. You could take a course on Teachable. You can look at YouTube videos. You can buy a course, join a coaching program. These are just some things. Like coaching program in Udemy is like low cost. Coursera. These are low cost ways that you can increase your skills. So you just map out a plan. Okay, if I'm going to learn this new skill in 90 days, this is what I'm going to do every day. This is what I need to be doing every single day. And in 90 days, you start, during this time, you want to start building up your LinkedIn profile, talking to people, networking with people, trying to, build relationships with people who may know somebody who is looking to hire for this particular position that you're in. You just start, building up your thought leadership. Like, what do you think about whatever it is that you're doing? What are your thoughts about your experience? What have you done in the past? You start building that up, start talking about it. So there's different ways that you can do this, but the important thing is not to stay stuck. If this doesn't work for your particular situation, let's say, for example, you want to start a business. You can always Google how to start whatever business. There's thousands of books on whatever business you want to start. You can ask somebody who's already done it, how did they do it? So it's important that if you are asking for advice from someone, that you realize that this expertise that they have, they've spent tens of thousands of dollars to receive this expertise. Be willing to pay them for this expertise. So respect their craft. So a lot of times I'm finding that people want you to tell them what they need to do over coffee. And I think it's fine if that's what you want to do, but you got to value their value. And most of the time when we ask somebody over coffee, how did they get started? What do I need to do to make $1 million? You devalue their value. And so it's important that you respect people for what they've experienced, their expertise, what they've accomplished. So if you don't know what to do, you can ask questions, but be willing to pay if you're going to ask questions. You can Google it, of course, like I said, YouTube. You can sit down with a piece of paper and really think about what is it that you need to do. So most of us can sit down and say, okay, I don't know what to do about X. But if we really sit down over an hour, we could probably come up with 40 things that we know we need to do right now. Not 40 things that we want to do, but 40 things that we know we need to do right now to increase our income, to accomplish the goal, whatever it is we're trying to do. The problem is we don't want to do them, and we're impatient because once we do them, the results are not, right away. So just know that if you don't know what to do right now, it's probably an excuse, right? It's probably that you don't want to do the things that you know you need to do. And most of it is we got to do some work. And most people don't want to do the work. Make yourself a list. Start doing the things that you know you don't want to do. So this is the thing. If you don't have enough money, chances are the problem will continue to linger. The next thing is that you want to make sure that you learn how to learn. So don't be afraid to learn something new. Don't ever be afraid to learn something new, especially like if it's technology, sales, business, negotiation skills. These are invaluable skills. The next one is don't be afraid to fail. So it is important that you realize that failure is part of the process, that we are going to make mistakes. This is how we learn. So if you find somebody who says, I don't make mistakes, I'm perfect, everything I do works out, then they're not doing anything, because every single thing we do, we can fail, or we tend to fail. It tends to take more than one attempt. And most of the time people will tell you they've done things over and over and over again before it worked. If you don't know what to do, listen. Just start listening and let God speak to you about what you need to do next. You can use your best judgment about what you need to do. And most of the time, we don't sit still long enough to figure out what we want to do. We got the TV going, we're scrolling social media, we're doing all these things with the music playing, and we wonder why we don't know what to do. It's because we don't sit quiet and try to figure out what the next move is, what's the best move. The worst thing you can do is nothing. It's the worst thing. If you don't do anything, if you're saying next year at this time, you're still saying, I'm not making enough money, I don't have enough money to pay my bills, or the last year, the last 2 years, the last 3 years, you've been saying the same thing, I don't make enough money to pay my bills, then you got to wonder, do you really want to make enough money to pay your bills? Because if you do, you got to do something different. Just what it is. If you want it to change, if you want your finances to change, you got to do something different. We are not above mistakes. So every single person that you talk to, particularly those who are successful, making the money that you want to make, will tell you they have made mistakes, that things have not worked out like they wanted them on the first try. So don't be afraid to try. Put yourself out there. Stop saying you don't know what to do, and sit down and in quiet, in silence, in solitude, and figure out what is your next step. And then use some of these things that I've talked about to try to, figure out what to do. But don't let not you saying that you don't know what to do stop you, because there are probably 100% chance that you do know what to do, you just don't want to do it. But make up your mind that you're going to start making the changes, that you're going to start doing the things that you know you should do right now, and just go do it. But you can do it. You know what to do. At least you know where to start. So start, doing some of the things you know that you need to do. And I promise you, there's probably at least 30 or 40 things that you can do right now to help yourself. If you sit down and just sit quiet and just figure out what the next step is for whatever you're trying to do.